EU leaders are meeting to discuss the sanctions. They're talking about very similar things that Joe Biden mentioned in his press conference: export controls, things that allow or prevent high-tech components being exported into a country, which will allow those industries to develop. Also, access to financial markets. Those kind of things are pretty uncontroversial. But you heard Joe Biden say in that press conference that the Europeans don't want SWIFT. Well, there are reports coming out of this meeting that the two countries who are backpedaling on SWIFT is Germany and Italy. Apparently they're the two countries who are holding out. Now, I'm not an expert on SWIFT, but I have heard people say, like Joe Biden mentioned at that press conference, that SWIFT can be a bit of a red herring, that perhaps if you ban Russia from SWIFT, they might just work out their own system with China to get their way around that. I'm not an expert on that, but that's one of the arguments I certainly have heard. The Ukrainians are dead keen on Russia being banned from it. So they're very upset that they see the Europeans as dithering on this, and in particular, it appears to be Italy and Germany. So the EU nations, there's 27 of them, they're debating their sanctions at the moment. Boris Johnson, the UK Prime Minister, of course, post-Brexit, he can come up with his own version of sanctions, and he spoke before the House of Commons a few hours ago. A whole range of different sanctions. For example, Aeroflot, the Russian national carrier, cannot fly to the UK anymore. They're excluding Russian banks from the UK financial system, freezing assets, once again, export controls. So he's announced a whole range of sanctions, particularly targeting certain oligarchs as well.
I'm driven to conclude that Putin was always determined to attack his neighbour, no matter what we did. Now we see him for what he is, a blood-stained aggressor who believes in imperial conquest.
As we know, it's very hard to protest in Russia under President Putin right now. Look at you've got the opposition figure, Alexei Navalny, in prison, and a lot of his supporters have virtually been driven out of the country. Then they're using these kind of foreign agent legislation to silence dissent, and also they're silencing protests. And so some very brave souls have gone out on the streets in Moscow, St. Petersburg, and other cities in Russia. An independent monitoring service has reported that around over 1,000 Russians have been arrested today, just simply for walking against the war. So very brave souls to go out there and do that. And it'll be very interesting to see if this is the beginning of something bigger, or whether this is crushed like we've seen in recent years when there's been any dissent or any opposition to Vladimir Putin in Russia.